Okay, so now the water has all dried up a little bit. I am going to de-rust all of this under here. Getting a bit closer and have a look at all this stuff up here. Yeah. And you know something? I guarantee that if you've got one of these, yours will look like this too. Especially if it's older than 2005. This has got relatively low miles on it compared to some of the ones I've seen. And it looks this bad. So, what am I going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to use some black brush on under seal paint and just, well, first of all I'm going to go around all this, clean it all up, put it in primer, put it in some cheap cheap white paint, whatever I can find, spray paint probably. When that's dry, I'm then going to brush on this thick black under seal paint, and then we'll sit that in there, and that should stop any moisture from being a problem in the future. But what I've got to do is get my wire wheel in here, try and clean this out as best I can. So that's my plan. That is my plan. I'd best get to it, haven't I? Wonder if I can turn this screen around and have a look what's behind here. Oh, it's just as bad as I thought it was going to be. What a shame. Okay then. Okay, so this is looking a bit better today. I've left it overnight so it dries a little bit. I've not done all of it. There's a bit I've missed because it's all covered with plastics, so I don't really need to do that, but like all this cavity up here, it's all covered in plastic, so I don't really need to do up there. There's no rust on the any of the spot wells, you know, where they go first. So yeah, there's a bit there of mist, not just a tiny little bit in that corner. That's alright. There's a little bit there, it's a bit thin, but there's already loads of rust proof in there. Yep, that looks good to me. That should stop any future rust. I've really tried my best to fill in some of the holes that are here. I've got a couple of holes that's like right here, goes through, and there's one up here as well. Perfectly designed, look, to funnel water to the inside of the engine bay. So yes, I remove those holes, fill them in with some underseal. I also did under there as well, not brilliantly, there's still some bits, but I did go over it with paint beforehand, so should be too good. I also went over the cross member with some of this stuff as well. Again, I already painted it once, but then I thought, screw it, I'll go over it with this. It's going to be horrible to work on because it's going to be all tacky, but yeah, screw it. Like it matters. I'm hoping I won't have to do any more work on this for a good few years. Oh dear, hay fever is bad today. I say that in all my videos, don't I? Hay fever is bad. Hay fever is bad. Still waiting for my oil seal to get here. This is day number 3, 4 now of the engine. You know, as it is. I've been having a lot of problems with the clutch. Trying to get a replacement flywheel for this as well. In the end, I'm just going to bang on the conversion kit flywheel and hope for the best. Hope it works. Hope the clutch pedal is going to be fine. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's crack on with it. Today's job is to clean up the top of that suspension strut and then hopefully install it and get all this built back up again. Well, you know what I mean, to the point where I've got a strut in there, reinstall the gearbox and whatnot. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, not much of an update to be honest, but I have, let's pause that, I have, as you can see, yellow paint's gone on everything because it's the only colour Amorite I can find, which is about the only best brush on metal paint I've got. It'll do. Oil seal came through, so I've put that in now. I've got the I've just thrown the old one away. Just waiting on getting the torque wrench from my brother, and that should be it. I have painted up the suspension strut because that was pretty bad, as you know. Got a CV boot on the way for that. Where is it? There. That CV boot. Replace that. The joint's good. It's got no play in it, no matter where you position it. That's good. So should be more than savable. What's next? Oh yeah. You can see that I've put the bottom wishbone on. Bolted up the anti-roll bar. That's all done. Nice. People haven't sent me the wherever it is on the eBay listing. Have not sent me the anti-roll bar bushers, which has annoyed me somewhat. To be expected, I guess. I did order them 2 weeks ago, actually, when I knew they needed doing. I actually ordered them before I even decided to take on this job. That's how long ago it's been, and it's still showing up as not dispatched yet. Yeah, dispatch. Oh, I've left my sliding door open on the other side. Let's close that. Throw the tools in the garage and head back in the house. As you can see, I haven't got any of the wiring in here to do the air conditioning. Normally here you get a relay sit, and I think there's another one in there as well. The spare relay that you see there, I do believe is for front fog lights, because the plugs to those are here. I think they are the plugs for it. I've got that yellow plug there, and I've got another yellow plug the other side. And the way the cables run, it just screams that it's for the fog lights, so I'm guessing that's what they're for. I'm not sure what your front fog light switch is on this, if it's on the column or not. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look next time I head up to the taxi graveyard, because they've all got fog lights. They're all broken fog lights, but they've got them all. But if I can nick the switch, then I'll get the switch for them. That's all, I think. Oh, I've replaced the thermostat as well. Yes. Yeah, I took the old one out, and I tell you, it didn't look like it needed changing. It looked brand new, so I was a bit upset really with that, but better safe than sorry. I'm going to keep the old one anyway. For the price of them, you may as well just change them while you've got all this done. I have fitted a certain plate in a certain location on this thing, but I'm not going to name the plate. Just because it will help prevent intake manifolds clogging up. I know I bought one, but didn't know where it was, and I managed to find it today. Sliced my finger open pretty good on one of the sills, putting the sill back in its box. Typical. Email. That's on one of my other accounts, the one I don't use very often. I don't know. I've got a message chain for everything. I was thinking, a different message chain for everything. Hope that's not copyright. Anyway. What's next? Next is the flywheel, I think. You put the flywheel in. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next video.